Exclusive tonight, looking for a part-time job and free access into the Metro's most popular entertainment events? We have some details you may want to stick around for. I'm Erin Krause.
And I'm Avery Wink. Omaha's YP Summit is working to connect young professionals with people already in established careers, what it does for those in attendance, and much more right here on the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
Looking for a job this summer to make some extra money? Our reporter Justin Eidelman is live at TD Ameritrade Park to tell us about one organization looking to hire some extra staff.
Thanks, Avery. This summer at TD Ameritrade and CenturyLink, the College World Series and Olympic swim trials could possibly overlap. That's why Mecca is doing everything they can to bolster their staff for the events. The CenturyLink and TD Ameritrade Park are full of events all year long. The Metropolitan Entertainment and Convention Authority, also known as Mecca, makes everything possible. Downtown Omaha has a busy schedule this summer with the Olympic swim trials at the CenturyLink and the College World Series at TD Ameritrade. Mecca is doing its best job to hire enough employees to make sure the events run smoothly. Mecca is a nonprofit organization that builds and manages public event venues in Omaha. Director of Communications for Mecca, Christy Anderson, says that extra events held at the CenturyLink and TD Ameritrade will require additional help.
So we need an additional 250 people for seasonal jobs like event staff, ushers, ticket takers, crowd managers. Citizens interested in applying for a job got the chance to attend Mecca's job fair on Tuesday afternoon. Applicant Larry Summers says he would be excited to work the upcoming events this summer if he's hired.
Oh yeah, College World Series is always cool, and the swimming trials are cool. I used to be a swimmer when I was younger, so it's an appealing thing.
Anderson says the potential employees will have to have good communication and personal skills.
These people need to be friendly, they need to be people-pleasing, they need to be enthusiastic, because in many cases they are the first impression for all of these out-of-town guests.
Mecca is still finishing the hiring process, and they are hopeful to have a completed staff by summer. Yeah, guys, I was at the job fair on Tuesday, and it really was not that crowded whatsoever. So Mecca is still looking for about 100 employee spots to fill of their goal of 250. Live from TD Ameritrade for the Omaha News, I'm Justin Eidelman.
Thanks, Justin. The Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, said the U.S. economy appears weaker than he thought it would be. After releasing his annual letter to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders over the weekend, Buffett appeared on CNBC to talk about economic issues throughout the country, talking about everything from falling oil prices to insurance to America's bad driving record. The billionaire remains optimistic about the long-term view of the country's prospects. This year's Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting will be held on Saturday, April 30th at the CenturyLink Center.
The YP Summit is held every March and allows young professionals to connect with one another and listen to keynote speakers who have established careers. The 11th annual YP Summit will take place tomorrow at the CenturyLink Center. Those attending will hear from renowned keynote speakers Josh Linkner and Randy Zuckerberg. YP Summit Chair Lindsay Spence says the day is focused on the development of attendees.
The day is really focused on how we can help young professionals really be the best version of themselves that they can be.
The event runs from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and tickets cost $150. So what are ticket holders getting for their money? YP Council member Allison Shores says that the day will be broken up into 4 tracks.
Have a personal development track, a professional development track, and a community development track. And then we also have a bonus track and our CEO track.
The summit will take place right here in the CenturyLink Center. 1,400 young professionals from all over the Midwest will travel to Omaha to take part in this all-day event. And Spence says they will get out of it what they put in.
You can come to the summit and maybe be a little introverted or shy and just come for a great day of engaging and learning and kind of moments of inspiration. Or you can come and meet tons of new friends.
The theme for this year's summit is Uncharted, and the council is hoping that summiteers will find ways to impact our community throughout the day. Those who did not get a ticket but still want to get involved are encouraged to attend the post-summit party from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Diamond Room.
Still to come, we'll talk about a movement working to preserve Omaha's past, found in its most historic buildings.
Plus, with spring comes potholes. We talked to a local shop to find out just how much these concrete canyons can affect your car.
Create, innovate, discover. Coneco UNO Library, where scholar meets creative. Located in downtown Omaha, Coneco Library is designed to bridge education and creation. For students and community members alike, both loud in expression and quiet in nature, encouraging forward thinkers to collaborate in a beautiful space of creative scholarly consciousness. Coneco UNO Library, open space for your mind where momentum is accomplished.
I knew as a music teacher that there were festivals for piano students and that type of thing going up, but there was no real public recognition of children's achievements in music until they got to be in high school.
I was embarrassed because I was in middle school, but it was interesting because I didn't think I was good at that point, because you're middle school, you're just you could be best in the orchestra, but you're not sure.
I just remember the joy and the giddiness that these students had. They loved coming to the station and having a tour of the station, and it really meant a lot to them to actually have an interview at this radio station, and they were all so excited and so passionate about music.
When I became a classical kid, I got to go to the Gil Shaham concert at the Joslin Art Museum, and that concert completely changed my life. Being a classical kid really changed the thought of, could I do music professionally? It was really nice winning something like that. It was pretty good.
The classical kids idea was one that stuck because KVNO is all about classical music. It was perfect.
You're watching the Omaha News.
An appreciation for the past is alive and thriving in the city of Omaha, but the threat of accidental or planned destruction of historic buildings is putting many people on edge. Now that the danger has become more tangible, citizens are coming together to prevent any further loss to the city's past. Discovering that some buildings are more than just brick walls was a hard lesson learned for the city when M's Pub was destroyed.
It was just devastating to a whole lot of people. It was a very special place, and right in the heart of the old market.
2 days after the explosion, Chuck Martins created the Forgotten Omaha Facebook page in hopes of inspiring the preservation of historic buildings in the city because
we can't afford to lose anymore.
And Micah Evans, development director at the Scottish Rite of Omaha, shares Martin's passion.
These buildings tell a story about our expectations and our aspirations at the time when they were built.
Christine Gerber, director of Restoration Exchange Omaha, echoes Evans' sentiments.
Historic buildings make a community unique.
And Restoration Exchange Omaha is located on the grounds of a landmark that connects the community directly to architectural history. George and Sarah Jocelyn built the castle in 1903, and over the past century has become one of the most popular pieces of Omaha architecture. But the Jocelyn's contribution to the city goes far beyond the stone walls of the castle. Located in downtown Omaha, the Joslin Art Museum was a gift from Sarah Jocelyn to the city. A few blocks east of the museum sits the Specht Building, the most recent piece of architecture saved by the work done by preservation advocates like Chuck Martin, who says getting your feet on the concrete is the best way to enjoy these buildings.
Or go down on the weekends and walk around, just be aware of the city.
Because by wheels, you just might miss them. If you would like to get involved with restoration efforts in the city, Restoration Exchange is hosting the 2016 Restore Omaha Conference this weekend, March 4th and 5th. The conference will consist of a walking tour of North 24th Street and informational lectures on restoration. Tickets are still available on the Restore Exchange Omaha Eventbrite page.
Yesterday was a big day for Nebraska. The state celebrated its 149th birthday, and the Big 150 is now the focus. Governor Pete Ricketts announced the Nebraska Sesquicentennial Commission is planning events across the state to highlight Nebraska's history and improve the lives of Nebraskans. In celebration of the state's 150th birthday, next year, there will be a year-long jubilee full of events ranging from parades and fireworks to classroom projects to healthy living initiatives. Nebraska was granted statehood on March 1st, 1871. The year-long celebration will begin March 1st of 2017.
With the warmer weather here in the Omaha Metro, it seems like spring fever is coming a hair early, but with that comes potholes. Alex Abler talked to a local mechanic and shop manager to get an idea of what really happens when you hit those potholes.
It's that time of year again. The snow is melting and Omaha is seeing 60-degree weather. With the pleasant weather comes those nasty potholes. Denny Johnson, service manager at Amtech Auto Care, says that there's an increase in car repair around this time of year.
Yeah, every year we see an increase in repairs such as bent rims, from potholes, impact brakes in tires, suspension parts that, were worn and questionable, in the potholes and the road conditions.
Sunday drive can turn into a Sunday nightmare. All it takes is one pothole to crack your hubcap or derail your brakes completely.
Darren Price, an Amtech customer and also camper technician, says that it's not just the snow and ice causing the potholes.
This year is a little bit worse, although about 2 years ago we had a pretty rough year too, but this year seems to be a little bit worse and they don't seem to be maintained.
Johnson says that there are small things that customers can do to prevent a trip to his shop, and it's as easy as a car wash.
The corrosive salts and the compounds that they put on the streets to melt the snow and ice, it's terribly corrosive on cars. We recommend our customers to wash the undercarriage of your cars as often as possible to rinse that off.
For the Omaha News, I'm Alex Abler.
Johnson says many people wait until they can barely drive to bring in their cars for service, but he says that doing that will cost you more time, money, and headaches.
Taking to the skies now. If you fly frequently, you may notice that legroom on airlines is shrinking. New York Senator Chuck Schumer is introducing a seat size guideline amendment to the FAA Reauthorization Act in Congress right now. He says the FAA should require airlines to stick to a seat size guideline. Noting airplane legroom used to be 35 inches, they're now 31 inches. In addition to legroom, he says seats are getting narrower in the hips too, shrinking about 2 inches. A vote on the FAA reauthorization bill is expected this month.
Coming up after the break, a look into an exhibit at the Children's Museum that's giving kids a chance to serve up superhero justice.
Plus, Nebraska's Democratic caucus is only 3 days away. How Democrats in the metro area are preparing to rally supporters behind their favorite presidential hopeful.
Just recently, MAV Radio has won several awards, both from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association as well as the Broadcast Education Association. And I think it just is proof that our students are doing work that is equivalent, if not surpassing, other students around the nation. So I'm really proud of where we've come, and I can't wait to see where we're going.
Watch ICU Learning English on the Knowledge Network.
But about how you're feeling right now. One thing you would like our viewers to know about this state.
The importance of volunteerism.
What are you saying to folks?
I'm here to discuss these images.
When you can take that knowledge and that expertise and that passion in terms that they're all going to understand.
They need to know the real stories.
I'm Kathy Wyatt. Join us for Consider This each week on NET1.
NET Television expands your mind, enlightens your mind, inspires your mind, educates your mind, entertains your mind. NET Television opens up new worlds to you. Explore, travel, learn, discuss, debate. NET Television keeps you informed. Music, theater, dance, art, news. NET Television awakens your dreams, seeks to serve, strengthens our communities. We are Nebraskans. We are NET Television, Nebraska's PBS station.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Last year, the Omaha Children's Museum set an annual attendance record after drawing in more than 300,000 visitors, and they may be on their way to breaking that record again due to a very popular exhibit. Omaha News reporter Matt Barrows takes us inside for a peek at the exhibit that has kids leaping tall buildings and even taking flight.
This year, the Omaha Children's Museum celebrates its 40th year serving the community.
Underneath everything that we do at the museum is helping kids in their executive brain function development.
Smashing box office records again this week is that body and boorish superhero movie Deadpool. Yet despite its success, some parents have leveled some criticism its way because it's a superhero movie not suitable for kids. Yet here at the Omaha Children's Museum, there's an entire superhero experience that's not only suitable for kids, it was designed just for them. The superhero exhibit is massive, spanning almost the entire second floor of the museum. Kids start by choosing their favorite superhero costume, and then it's off to a number of different imaginative activities and physical challenges. From reading or solving problems at a superhero command center to zip lines and rock climbing walls, children are challenged both mentally and physically.
We have all kinds of things that we want to lean into an educational base without being, hey, you're coming to school.
But while it's all about education at the Children's Museum, for the kids, it's all about their favorite superheroes.
Who is your favorite superhero?
Batman. Okay, Black Widow, Thor, Captain America. I have lots of favorite superheroes. And Batgirl. And Wonder Woman. And Teen Titans Go.
For the Omaha News, I'm Matt Barrows.
Coming up in May, the exhibit will be replaced by a new exhibit called Pirates and Mermaids. Also, the museum's extended summer hour schedule begins May 30th.
The Westside School District is working on $4 million in proposed cuts that include teachers, summer programs, and bus routes. After flat property tax revenues, state aid unable to keep up with rising salary and transportation and utility costs, the district has been dipping into reserves for several years. As many as 18 full-time and part-time positions could be eliminated, but there are hopes of reassigning affected staff to other openings in the district.
Just days away from the Nebraska Democratic Caucus, offices for both presidential candidates, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, have been canvassing Omaha in hopes to bring more Democratic votes. Reporter Waverly Monroe shows us how each office is doing its part to raise the awareness for the Democratic Caucus.
Kate Waters and the rest of the Hillary team are getting out and talking to Democrats about the upcoming caucus.
Walking up to a door and somebody just said, "Yay, there's a Democrat here."
Both Clinton and Sanders offices have popped up in the last month in preparations for the Democratic caucus this Saturday. Each office has volunteers going door to door and making phone calls to reach out to open Democratic supporters. The University of Nebraska at Omaha's Democratic president, Bradley Christian, says that it is important to be scattered across the metro.
When you have an office here, it not only shows them that the campaign is committed to here to Nebraska and Omaha, but it gives them a place to come and get work done.
Nebraska being only one of the 2 states that can split its electoral vote, having a Democratic office in Omaha is more crucial than ever. Nebraska Senator and Hillary Clinton supporter Tanya Cook made an appearance before the Clinton team.
How important it is to turn out today, to talk to people on the phone, to knock doors.
Just blocks from the University of Nebraska at Omaha's South Campus, Luis Jimenez was not afraid to hit the streets and share his enthusiasm for Sanders.
About Bernie Sanders, because the longer his name is out there and his message is out there, he has a better chance.
Some things to keep in mind for Saturday is that if you are not a registered voter, you can still register at your specific caucus site. And if you don't know where your caucus site is, you can go to the website nebraskacaucus2016.org and click the Where to Caucus link at the top of the page. For the Omaha News, I'm Waverly Monroe.
Also, if you are 17 years of age and will be 18 by the general election, you can still vote in this weekend's Democratic caucus.
The Nebraska caucus is solely for its voters to select a presidential candidate. The process is similar to Iowa's. Supporters join up, align with like-minded voters, and there is a chance for persuasion if the candidate doesn't meet the threshold. The process of tallying caucus votes in Iowa is different than it will be in Nebraska. Delegates will be split proportionally based on a total vote count. Nebraska Democrats say this will make it easier to call a clear winner.
Still to come, what Nebraska officials are doing to make sure religion doesn't take a back seat to gay marriage rights.
Plus, we discuss a bill that Nebraska legislators are trying to introduce to help put a stop to prescription drug abuse.
UNO TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city. Or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. Discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
UNO Television gives students a chance to work in a real studio. Working on the TV crew, students get hands-on experience with lights, camera, and action. Working on a variety of shows gives students a leg up looking for jobs. In fact, many former crew members work at local stations. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for students to learn the science and art of TV production. UNO TV, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
In June, when the hashtag #LoveOne became popular, some thought that religion was going to start taking the hits. But as Jamie Schmitz reports, Governor Pete Ricketts wants to make sure that exact thing does not happen.
But it's important for us to be able to do it with integrity.
Archbishop George Lucas is talking about Christians having religious freedom. Governor Pete Ricketts held a religious liberties rally on Monday for the second year in a row. Ricketts and other Christian officials are saying that they are standing up not only for themselves, but for organizations like Catholic Charities that help not only those that are religious, but a vast array of people.
It's really essential and to be able to, for Catholic Charities and other Catholic social service agencies to continue to serve as we have always done in concert with our own beliefs about marriage and family life, about the welfare of children.
Pete Ricketts compared today's religious persecution to that of the past.
But again, we look at today's world, and we can see that Christians are still being persecuted.
And Governor Ricketts wants to bring awareness to that exact thing. Governor Ricketts signed a proclamation giving Nebraska a Religious Liberties Day, but not everybody is excited about it. One person I talked to says that it is unfair because there was only Christians that were here to represent all of the religions in Nebraska.
So I feel like he didn't even try. This was very biased and it was very exclusive. I come from a religious family, but I don't believe that in order to be religious, you need to take away my rights either, or anybody's rights.
Governor Ricketts said that while diversity in many other aspects of Nebraskans' life is being welcomed, this rally is a good way to continue this year accepting diversity in religious aspects as well. For the Omaha News, I'm Jamie Schmitz.
Along with Archbishop Lucas, a lawyer spoke about cases this past year that shed light on the positives and the negatives that have happened with religious liberties.
A study by AARP finds the average cost for a supply of 1-year prescription has been doubled in just 7 years. Retirees now find themselves paying around $11,000 for just one prescription drug. That's about 3/4 of the average annual Social Security benefit. According to the study, AARP says drug makers are making prescriptions increasingly unaffordable for retirees.
Legislative Bill 471 is the next legislation making it harder for prescription drug addicts to keep up the habit. Reporter Jared Kennedy joins us from the newsroom with the full story.
Thanks, Avery. Senator Sarah Howard introduced this bill. She's succeeding her mother, Gwen Howard, as a state senator and in the push for enhanced prescription drug monitoring. Over a year ago, Senator Sarah Howard introduced a bill that would become the next step in the fight against prescription drug abuse. For Senator Howard, the issue hits close to home.
My sister passed away from an opioid overdose. My sister had been battling addiction for several years after she had a spinal fusion after a few car accidents.
The bill mandates that patients have their information in a statewide database. This will ensure that abusers are unable to go from doctor to doctor, doubling up on prescriptions.
So before they prescribe, before they dispense, they can look up the med history and say, you've been dispensed several narcotic pain medications or you've been prescribed several narcotic pain medications, and I'm going to choose not to prescribe or dispense you anymore.
Senator Sarah Howard says the passing of Legislative Bill 471 is a classic example of how the legislative system should operate.
It's not like Congress where we're just fighting all the time and then we just walk away from the table. We brought everybody to the table and we looked at a problem and solved it to the best of our ability at this time. And that was really exciting.
Carrie Pamikata is with Coalition RX, a nonprofit fighting prescription drug abuse. She says it's a bigger problem than we realize.
Prescription drug abuse is an absolute epidemic across our entire country. And the sad thing about it is, unfortunately, along with the opioid abuse, it has brought with it its friend, heroin.
For the Omaha News, I am Jared Kennedy. Senator Howard says Legislative Bill 471 is a step in the right direction, but there is still much to be done. Marin?
Thanks, Jared. That does it for this week's edition of the Omaha News.
For all of us here, thanks for joining us, and good night.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is a place for tomorrow's leaders, a place where individuals converge on a path to success, getting the attention and direction they need as they begin their career. It's where students take pride in serving Omaha, a city we've invested in for more than 100 years. UNO is a place where greatness begins. The University of Nebraska at Omaha.
Watch the Omaha News Wednesdays at 4 p.m. on the Knowledge Network.
When will you look deep into space? When will you travel back in time? When will you experience the power of red? When? Anytime. online at video.netnebraska.org. Search, select, and share with the NET Video Player. Watch our shows on your schedule.
What if there were a neighborhood where every child felt they belonged, and a big dog helped them stay little a little longer? A monkey helped them find the wonder in every little thing, and a flightless bird showed them how to soar. Support the people and programs that never stop asking, what if?